This is a tutorial to show you how to use the IRIS Earthquake Browser in order to complete the recent World Earthquakes assignment. What you're seeing on the screen in front of you right now is the IRIS Earthquake Browser. You'll notice that there's a bunch of colored dots across the map in front of you. Those dots each represent an earthquake. The different colors of those dots represent how deep in the crust or how far down in the crust those earthquakes happened. The color key for that is right over here. Your cooler colors, your purples, blues, and greens, are shallow earthquakes, so they didn't happen very deep down in the crust. Your warmer colors, your yellows, your oranges, and your reds, are deeper earthquakes, which means they happen further down in the crust. So if we take a look at this map, you can see right now that there have been fairly shallow earthquakes in North America, whereas if you go over here in the region of Fiji, American Samoa, and Tonga, there have been some deeper earthquakes over there. The size of the earthquakes is indicated by the size of the dot, and they're showing you that down here. They measure earthquake sizes using magnitude. If those numbers that they have posted underneath those dots don't make a whole lot of sense to you right now, that's okay. We're going to talk about what those numbers mean later on in our unit. For now, for this assignment, the best thing to remember is just that the bigger the dot is, the bigger the earthquake was. Now, right now you're looking at a view of the whole entire world, and you may want to zoom in and get a closer look at a certain location. In order to zoom in and out, you want to use the zoom bar over here. So you click the plus sign and it'll zoom in for you, so you can start to get a closer look at a particular location, and you may start to see earthquakes showing up that the zoomed out view wasn't getting you. If you want to zoom back out, you can click the minus button to zoom back out. You can also, if you zoom way in and want to get back out to the big map, you can click this little world button and it'll zoom you back out to that original map. In addition to that, there's this select a new region. If you click on that, a cursor is going to appear and you can use it to select a particular region on the map, and then over here you click zoom to region and it'll zoom in on that area so you can take a closer look at it. If you want to turn this off, you have to go back over here and click deselect region. It'll turn that off on the map, and then you're free to zoom in and out and back wherever you'd like. Now, you're also able to drag this map back and forth so you can center it on a particular location. So if we zoom in a little bit, right now we've kind of got the Atlantic in the middle of the screen. Let's say you wanted to look at the Pacific, you could grab and click and pull this over so that the Pacific is now in the center of your screen. For this particular assignment, it's probably better to keep it centered on the Pacific and to work on this zoom level and kind of reset back to here. Just it'll make things easier for the assignment. But if you want to be able to zoom around and look at different locations, you can do that by grabbing and clicking the map. Down here at the bottom of the map, you'll see where it says map. If you click on that, it gives you the option to turn on satellite view. If you click satellite view, this is what you're going to get. It makes it a little harder to see the earthquakes, so I would probably stay on map view for this. You'll also notice this terrain button. Let's watch Greenland up here in the North Pole. If I turn off that terrain, you'll notice that a lot of the gray that was showing the land features up there disappears, and if I turn it back on, you'll see it come back on. So it's kind of showing you those different elevations and mountains that are going on in a particular region. Now let's zoom in, let's say on the Pacific over here, and if we zoom in on Hawaii, we'll take a look at what's been happening there. You'll notice as you zoom in, you'll start to see more dots. And if you want to find out more about what was going on there, if you hover over a dot, you'll be able to click on that dot and it'll pull up some information about the closest 10 earthquakes that have happened in that region. It's going to tell you the magnitude or how big it was, how far down in the crust it happened, when it happened, the time of day, latitude, longitude, and various information. So it kind of gives you an idea of what's been going on. If you click zoom to this vicinity, it'll zoom into there so you can take a closer look. You can also, as you've seen, kind of hover over some of these dots, and if you hover over them, it'll pop up some information about earthquakes that have happened there as well and where you're at. So that's kind of a basic thing on how to set this thing up, but we want to be able to adjust the data that it's showing us. So in order to do that, we're going to be using this information over here. So you can see right now on this particular map, it's telling you that in what you're looking at right now, there are 200 visible earthquakes of the 2,340 that have happened in this region. You'll see if I zoom back out, that number resets itself because now it's showing you earthquakes around the world. So this earthquake count is going to be dependent upon how close you're zoomed in, because it's going to show you for that area that's showing up on the map how many earthquakes have happened and how many of those are being shown. We want to be able to see as many of these as possible, and that's where this max quakes come in. You can see it says 200 visible because it's set at 200. If you click this drop-down menu, you can change how many earthquakes you can see. The most earthquakes you can see, the maximum number on this is 5,000. So we're going to click 5,000 for this. It will give you this warning that the browser may become unresponsive. So know that it might hang things up a little bit, but for the most part, I haven't had any problems with that. So if you do that, anything you change up here, you have to apply. So click apply, and that will apply it. And now you can see way more showing up on here, and it's showing you now down here that 5,000 earthquakes are visible out of all the earthquakes that have happened around the world. And if you zoom in on a particular region again, that number will change as the map loads, and it'll tell you how many of these are visible out of how many have happened. So here you can see, for example, what we're looking at right now. We're only seeing 4,993 of the 5,000 that they would show you out of the 56,305 that have actually happened in this region of the world. So that's how you change the number of earthquakes you're looking at. We also need to be able to change the date data on here so that we can see that. I'm going to reset this to 200 just so things will load a little bit faster. But we want to mess with the time range. So when you click on this, it's already got some information filled in. These are the ranges of data that this thing is set up to show you. We want to be able to change that. We're going to be looking at 24 hours, a week, a month, and a year. And I'll put the exact dates that you need to use for that up on the board. But the easiest way to change the dates on here is going to be to click on these calendars. And if you click the calendar, it'll open it up. You can use the single arrows to click through months. You can use the double arrows to click through years. So we'll have this one, let's say, once you're looking at something, let's click on St. Patrick's Day of 1972. So that's going to be our earliest available date. Earliest available means far back in time. So how early or far back in time are we going on here? So it's not going to show us right now any earthquakes that happened prior to March 17th of 1972. Now the latest available is the most recent date. So the most recent earthquake that has happened. So let's click back through and let's say we want to look at earthquakes. We're going to go back a little ways in time here. And let's go to, we'll go 1982. And let's say we wanted to see every earthquake that happened between March 17th of 1972 and how about November 18th of 1982. So now we've got our date set, and you'll notice the format for this is year and then the month and then the day. So if you want to type it in, you can do that as well. Once we've set that, we click apply. It's going to apply that, and now this map is showing you earthquakes that happen around the world between March 17th of 1972 and November 18th of 1982. And it's showing you 200 of the 53,129 earthquakes that occurred during this time. So that's how you change the time range. Another thing you're going to want to use on here is down here. It says show plates. If you toggle that to on, it will turn on the plate boundaries. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. It's going to show you the plate boundaries for the plates all around the world. And if we zoom in on North America so we can get a closer look at some of this, you can see that there's 3 different colors going on here: blue, yellow, and red. The blue lines represent transform boundaries, so the ones that slide past each other. The yellow lines represent convergent boundaries, so the ones moving towards each other. And the red lines represent divergent boundaries, the ones moving away from each other. So it'll tell you what type of boundary you're looking at. And we'll put a key to this information up on the board as well in case you forget it. But now you can kind of see how those earthquakes are occurring in relationship to the plate boundaries. It does allow you to go to a particular region or topic, so you can click, say for example, Cascadia, that's where we live. It'll zoom in on here and talk about earthquakes from here. And again, it's going to go earliest and latest, so this is going to be everything it can show you. If you want to click on a particular topic, let's say this 2002 Manchester UK swarm, you'll see it's going to go over to Manchester, which is over in England, and kind of show you some earthquakes happening there. So you can look at some particular regions or topics using that thing. Okay. And if we zoom back out, now we've kind of got it reset to what we need. That should cover everything that you would need to know in order to use this. So I would suggest you play with it a little bit, make sure you know how to use it, make sure it makes sense on how to use it, and once you think you've got it down, go ahead and start your assignment.